Good evening, brethren. I'm asked to remind you of week of prayer that begins on Friday night, Sabbath night, and it goes from the 22nd of December until the 30th of December. You are invited to come, young and old, to the week of prayer sessions. We just sang the song, Volunteers for Jesus. I want you to be a volunteer for him. Our pioneer story this evening features O.R.L. Crosier. O.R.L. Crosier's full name was Owen Russell Loomis Crosier. He was born in, it will take a while to call this name, it's an Indian name for this part of New York. He was born in Canandaigua, New York in 1820, but was left an orphan at 2 years old after his parents died. He was converted as a Methodist at a Methodist revival at age 16. Dr. F.B. Hand and a farmer named Hiram Edson befriended him, and they encouraged him in his studies and gave him a home. He studied at the Genesis Wesleyan Academy Seminary in Lima, New York. On leaving school, he became a school teacher and taught in Gorham, Worcester, Lima, and East Avalon. For 7 years after baptism, he was a dutiful and enthusiastic Bible student. Therefore, at the age of 23, Crosier accepted the Millerite message in 1843 and was baptized by E.L. Penney. He started preaching the message soon afterwards, as always happened back in those times. When they were baptized and accepted the Millerite message, these young men started to preach right away. His preaching converted Dr. Hand to the Millerite message. Along with Hiram Edson and Dr. F.B. Hand, he was instrumental in publishing a small Millerite paper, The Day Dawn, explaining the message. He was with Edson on the morning after the Great Disappointment on October 22nd, 1844, when Edson received an inspiration from God, which explained that the Millerites' error was not in the date, but in the event that Christ had begun his work as high priest in the most holy place in heaven. Crosier, Edson, and Hand joined together to study the subject, and Crosier was selected to write out their findings on the subject of the sanctuary and its cleansing. Most of the financing for this article came from Miss Crosier, who sold most of her silverware and put the money into the cause. Joseph Bates and James White were among those Millerites who were convinced by the resulting article. When Ellen White read the second and expanded printing of the article, published in the Day Star Extra on February 7, 1846, she immediately recommended it to the brethren as true light. When Elder Bates presented the Sabbath message to a group of leaders at Edson's home, Crosier cautioned the brethren to be careful how they step on new planks of truth because they may collapse. He eventually accepted the new light and kept the Sabbath. On December 1846, he wrote an article in the Day Dawn at the age of 26 years advocating the Sabbath truth. The next year, he abandoned Sabbath keeping and also his early sanctuary view. Until 1853, he was on staff of the Joseph March Harbor Advocate. For the next 10 years, he was a missionary for the non-Sabbath keeping Adventists who had a great influence over him and his beliefs. That may be the reason why he abandoned his Sabbath keeping beliefs. Crosier. O.R.L. Crosier. At age 84, he visited a Boston Seventh-day Adventist church and recounted the cornfield experience and how the light spread on the sanctuary. He died September 15, 1912, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and was buried at Oak Hill Cemetery in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at 92 years, having never accepted the Sabbath truth again. Elder White, speaking on Crosier, says, I believe the sanctuary to be cleansed at the end of the 2300 days is the New Jerusalem temple, of which Christ is a minister. The Lord showed me in vision more than 1 year ago that Brother Crosier had the true light. It's when he had first brought it out, on the cleansing of the sanctuary, and that it was his will that Brother Crosier, should write out the new view which he gave us in the Day Star Extra. I feel fully authorized by the Lord to recommend this article to every saint. I pray that these lines may prove a blessing to you and all the dear children who may read them. That's when he first brought out the truth about the sanctuary, truth, when he first wrote it out. Even though Crosier made no contribution other than the development of our early views on of the sanctuary, this doctrine is unique to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The plan of salvation is perfectly and beautifully explained by the services carried out in the tabernacle Moses built. The life of R.I.L. Crosier teaches us the importance of studying for ourselves and staying true to our convictions. As my father always said, we must know what we believe, and be able to prove it anytime and anywhere. Thank you.
I'm going to sing number 227 in the old as we prepare for Brother Luann's presentation. Behold the Savior at the door.